I like it quiet. But I don't like my transfer windows quiet. Welcome back to Fog Football. It's the 13th of January 2024 roundup show here. We're 13 days in. Nothing's happening, so you know what we need to do? We need to regurgitate Lawrence Shankland. He's back from the dead. Football Insider are reporting that Rangers have turned their attentions back to Shankland because they had their attentions on Michy Batshuayi. And you know what, right? This is fake news. You know why it's fake news? Because I could pluck this out of thin air. You could pluck this out of thin air. See the fact that Rangers are no longer going to get Batshuayi? There's not one person, right, that talks about Scottish football that couldn't have made this fucking story up. Yes or no?
Well, you've literally made it up, so I mean...
No, I haven't made it up. The Football Insider's reported it. So that's my point. The Football Insider has come out and said that, oh, well, the Rangers have turned their attention back to Shankland. Of course you're going to say that. Rangers haven't even been well, I'm not saying they haven't been interested in Shankland, but where's like the formal interest? Where's like the acknowledgement for Rangers? Right? With Batshuayi, they have turned around and said, well, you know what, we were never interested in the player. Doesn't matter if he's on 60 grand a week or we can't afford a loan fee, yada yada yada. So the only thing going for Rangers in the Shankland department is the fact they haven't even acknowledged it. It's on the table. Right? Fabrizio Romano today saying that Rangers were never in for Doidge. So there's two players Rangers have been linked with that has been completely distanced. Until I see Rangers say they're not interested in Lawrence Shankland, or someone like Big Fab comes out and says, remember Fab Lollies? They're better than him.
I think the bigger question is, who are Rangers interested in, and when are they going to make it bid, or when are they going to at least show some interest in this, in signing somebody?
Aye, because they're not interested in anyone. I mean, Fabio Silva was done though even in this month, so I'm not even going to... Yeah, you can count him like at the end of the window. Oh, who'd they sign? Oh, Fabio. But Rangers need more than Fabio Silva, right? And let's not forget about the ugly green-headed sister across the road. What are they doing?
Nicholas Kuhn.
Aye, well, he's no official yet, right? That looks like it'll be done. 2.8 million looks like the official fee. 3 million euros, yada, 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 right? Celtic are loaning out shite. They're loaning out Ideguchi. They've loaned out Kwan to St Mirren. Rangers have loaned out Sam Lammers. I mean, you could argue, well, if you can't bring any players in at the start of the window, you may as well get rid of all your shite. But it's just like, this is...
Even shite needs replaced at the end of the day.
No, it does, to be fair. But, I mean, at least you could argue...
Like, when you take a shite, it needs to be flushed.
Aye, but Lammers is on good wages. Would have been... And still is, because he's under contract. But listen, I don't think Ideguchi and Kwan would have been on the highest of wages. But at the end of the day, these two, Rangers and Celtic, need to get the finger out their arse and start signing players. Because we need news. Chris Sutton, the well is dry.
This is a dying channel.
Aye. Chris Boyd, see, instead of eating, big man, fucking tweet your buddy Chris. See that telephone or telescope you whipped out to spy on him for the North Pole and that Christmas ad for Sky Sports? Whip that out and pluck some fucking news out of thin air. If you have to look through Chris Sutton's window to get something, then you do it, Chris. Because the two Chris's, you know, this winter break's feeling extremely long, isn't it? But anyway, what else is there to talk about? There's no official signing today. I guess we did have a full round of fixtures, but, you know, it's the Diddy leagues at the end of the day, isn't it?
It's the leagues that don't matter. It's the leagues without the star power.
Airdrie's game got called off. Falkirk get beat 2-1 despite being 1-33, so that's pretty big news there. Hamilton won 2-0, so they've closed the gap. And the other big, Rafe Rovers get beat. In terms of, this is the transfer roundup show, and I've got nothing. I've got fucking nada. Yilmaz started today, which would suggest, well, maybe this guy ain't going anywhere. But then you just look at the rest of the team in the league and like, what are they doing? Now, Davidson, big Callum Davidson, he opened his Queen's Park Reign with a win. But in terms of the news, it's only really Doidge, and I guess, yeah, you don't really see Scottish internationals or Scottish players leave for millions every day of the week, but I mean, we've already made a fid talking about Doidge, and I feel like, honestly, behind Shankland, you know how we've talked about Doidge the most? I would say so.
He gets the runners-up medal for most talked about, I think, in January.
Well, let's just put this into perspective, right? The first 5 stories on the BBC gossip column all mention Doidge, which just goes to show you there's nothing happening. Out of like 12 stories, he's mentioned in 5, which I think is ridiculous. Aberdeen, though, are still battling to sign Connor Barron. and Kyle Roos on new deals. Obviously, though, Rangers have been linked with Connor Barron, but again, like they've been linked, but there's nothing there. It's just people in the footballing world linking Rangers. Rangers are not linking themselves with anybody. Ricky Lamy apparently could be on his way to Dundee. That's not Ricky Lambert, that's just Ricky Lamy. He is currently on a season-long loan from Motherwell, but maybe a pre-contract could be agreed there. Celtic, though, apparently have opened new talks over Brøndby's new 21-year-old striker, Matthias Kvistgaard. That seemed like it died earlier this month, but it looks like it's back alive, and we're going to wrap this up here. As Rangers have made a failed late move to hijack Plymouth Argyle's deal for Leeds United midfielder Darko Giabi before the 19-year-old joined the Championship club on loan on Thursday. So Rangers out the running for Giabi. Did you ever hear about Giabi?
Didn't even know the guy existed until literally 10 seconds ago, so nice to know Rangers are out the running for a guy that I didn't even know was in this world. So
yeah, I honestly feel like the January transfer window just gets worse and worse each season. I think that's in general, by the way, that's not just this league. I think the best the January transfer window ever got was probably Rangers signing Aaron Ramsey on loan, and look how that fucking turned out.
That was big news, but it was also a big disappointment, a big
It's mad
failure.
though, Celtic signed Hatate and Maida in the same window and no one gave a fuck. It was all about Aaron Ramsey, and look what happened. The Rangers with egg on their face. They got absolutely scudded. Aaron Ramsey.
Well, at the time they were two nobodies. We didn't really know they were going to turn it to be two great Japanese players.
When Aaron Ramsey made it 1-0 at Ibrox against Celtic, and Rangers were going far in the Europa League, it was looking toasty. And then what happened?
Aye, for a couple of minutes, it was a good signing.
Aye, for a couple of minutes. And anyway, guys, we've bored the tits off you for a couple of minutes here. 7 minutes in. Actually, I say 7 minutes in. I want to talk a bit more. Brendan Rodgers, he said he was backed. He was going to be backed. A lot of hype on Super Scoreboard about the fact that he's not been backed in the summer, but they're definitely going to back him in the winter. Where's the evidence of this? Where is it? Brendan Rodgers is the sort of guy that goes to like the English Championship. We've seen him do it with like Scott Sinclair and co, right, back in the day. See Nicholas Kuhn, does that look like a Brendan Rodgers sign?
No, it doesn't.
What's so fucking funny about that?
It's not good. I mean, Brendan Rodgers can't be happy. I mean, he must.
I'm not happy.
He must be a couple more days away for just walking out and leaving this shite on the table. He'd be like, I've had enough.
I've had enough. Anyway, guys, we're leaving this shite on the table. It's festered long enough. Till next time. Peace.